With the Little Hells Canyon Bridge behind me, about 90% complete, I decided to put it in its spot so I can continue on with the scenery and other projects that I have going in this video. So if you're interested in finding out what I did and how I got to that point, stay tuned for major changes number 32. Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another VinnyVid Productions video. This is major changes number 32. In this video, I go over how I got to the point on that bridge behind me. I will show you some other updates I did to my layout concerning some scenery, some lighting, and some other stuff. Anyhow, I want to thank you guys for the support you've been giving me for my channel, and I hope you continue to do so. Anyhow, I think we should get on with the rest of the video. So stay tuned and we'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, we're going to start here with this video. I'm going to try and camouflage this piece of wood that's sticking down. Originally I wasn't supposed to use this fascia, I was supposed to use the fatter fascia that I used up above on the final lighting that I did. Anyhow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of fascia that I had left over, and I'm just going to glue it onto the side here, and then I'll glue one onto this side here, and then I'll finish it off in the front. That'll kind of make it blend in with this guy here. So anyhow, let me go ahead and get started with that, and we'll see where it goes from there. Alright guys, as you can see, I finished that one little piece of wood that was sticking out there that was pretty ugly. Anyhow, I had 3 of those to do, and all 3 of them are done. So it was an easy process. Just laminate some stuff to the side of the wood that you don't want to see, and eventually when I get all the scenery stuff in there, you'll probably be invisible. Anyhow, we're going to move on to the next part of this video, and I'm going to show you how I cover up some wires. So stay tuned and we'll be back in a few minutes. Alright guys, this control panel happens to be right smack in the middle of all the scenery that I'm doing. So I need to cover it up somehow, and this is my plan for now. I'm going to take a piece of the 1/8 inch hardboard, and I'm going to cover it up like this. And then I'm going to put a side on each one, and I'll show you how I'm going to put that together. So we'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, as you can see in front of you, I have 3 pieces of the hardboard. The one I showed you in the demo right there, this line is where I'm going to cut it in half, and it'll eventually be one of the sides. This is going to be a 3-sided box. Anyhow, I already laminated one of these. This is actually just a piece of balsa wood, and I think it'll work just fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my hot glue gun. I've been very happy using this deal. Like I said, it's been the first time I ever used one of these. But yeah, I'm just going to lay a bead right there, and then we're going to take, let me back this out a bit. I'm going to take my little balsa wood and put it right on there. Make sure the edges are square. And now I've got my mounting points in my side pieces. Anyhow, I need to go out in the garage and use my chop saw to cut this guy in half. But right now it's only about 5:30 in the morning, so I can't do that. Get some complaints from the neighbors. Anyhow, we'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the sides to this piece. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want it removable. So if I need to get behind there where the wiring is or whatever, switch machines or whatever, I'll be able to pull this out and then take down the panel and be able to work on it. Anyhow, again, I'm just going to use my hot glue gun, and I'm just going to put a bead down here like this. And then we're going to take this, and you notice I have my square in there. And we're going to put this on here like that, and you really don't have too much time to work with this hot glue gun. I like the way it fastens stuff really quick. Anyhow, as you can see, if I can turn this around, that I do have my square in there, and I'll just let it set up for a minute, and then I'll do the other side. The procedure is going to be the same, and then I'll show it to you when it's on the layout. We'll be back in a few. Alright guys, I'm going to show you this three-sided box that I just built to cover up the wires and everything that's behind there. And the reason why I did this is just in case I need to get to any of those wires or the switch machines that are up there behind it. There's two of them. I built this removable piece. Now I think it's going to be temporary for now, but we'll see. So basically it's just going to slip right in here like that. And it's on a little bit of an angle because you got to remember that the section that it's sitting on is a 2% grade. So we'll just get it down there like that, and I'll put a little shim under here, which I already have. If I can get it out. And that'll make it kind of straight. But anyhow, that's my plan for now. Eventually I'm going to do some other kind of stuff to blend the scenery in a little bit better. But for now, that's going to be it for this part of the video. Stay tuned and we'll get on to a little bit more. Alright guys, you remember my last VBS video, I didn't have enough material to finish off the second tower. Well, I did have the opportunity to go out and buy some more material. And so now I have both of my bridge towers built, and if you can look at it, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it does have that slight incline that corresponds to the grade that I have on the layout. Next project is going to be trying to weather these up as, let me move this up here very slowly, as that guy right there. Now you notice that they use different kind of steel tubing on there. They got kind of like a truss type stuff there, but anyhow, I'm not going to do that. As you can see, I'm just using regular I-beams. Anyhow, the colors that are in there, the main stanchions here look like they have a brownish hue on them, and then of course up here you have your heavier rust. So in order to accomplish that, I'm going to try a new technique. And I'm going to show you what the technique is here in a second. Get back down to the workbench. And we'll zoom out a bit. Okay, so if you guys remember that have been following along with me, in this bottle right here, which is an old Suave hairspray bottle, I have a wash of burnt umber. And in order for me to get that brown hue that I'm looking for, what I'm going to do is I am going to take a piece of scrap, which I have done already. This is actually one of the test stanchions that I did. And I don't know if you can see this, but I did cover it twice with the burnt umber. I might do it again just to get a little bit more brown out of it. But I don't know if you can see the color difference. Might be hard to see here on the camera, but already I am achieving some of the brown that I'm looking for. Then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take some raw sienna and I'm going to highlight some of the heavier rust spots, as you can see here. Anyhow, weathering is not my forte, as I told you guys probably a gazillion times, but as I tell my subscribers when they want to do scratch builds, practice, 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 and that's what I've been doing. So anyhow, I will get back to weathering this bridge here. I don't know if it'll be in this video because I have some other stuff to go over, but I will show it to you when I get done. So anyhow, stay tuned and we'll get back to a little bit more in this video. Okay guys, as we move on, you see the labeling in front of you, Little Hell's Canyon, Little Hell Canyon. There's no S at the end of hell. Anyhow, we're going to get into that and its surrounding areas. So, what I have done so far is the framework for all the scenery that's going to go up there. And it starts where I left off there. And when I get up on a table, I'll finish up that back part, but I don't feel like getting up on a table right now. Anyhow, bridge abutments are in, and they are painted with aged concrete. Still need to weather up those. And we'll continue around to here. And you can see that the front section is done. and I have started the rear section. Now there is that piece that I told you about, and I will do the scenery right up to the sides of it, and I will paint those corners so they're not that obvious. Anyhow, we'll continue around to here, and like I said, you can see I have most of the summit, well, not most of, some of the scenery up. But back there, there's a big empty hole where there's no backboard. So rather than go out and spend money for a backboard or a hardboard, whatever you want to call it, I decided to do the mountain to cover up that hole. And it will go right up to the hole in the wall that goes through to the other room. Anyhow, a little bit further on, and right there where the track comes in from the other room, I'm going to put a little bit of a hill right there. That piece you see going across, well, I made that hole a bit too big, so what I did was I cut a strip out and just put it on there, painted it blue. And any place that you see blue, I did touch up. There's my other little invisible deal right there. Like those pieces of wood back there. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. But anyhow, I painted that blue. I wanted some sky back there, just not a whole big mountain. Anyhow, I'm going to continue on this section here, and I probably will lay out some plaster cloth in this video. I'm not 100% sure yet. But anyhow, my main concern right now is to get plaster cloth done in this area. So stay tuned, and we'll see where else we can go with this video. Alright guys, as you can see, I've got most of, actually all of the substructure for my mountains, and I came right up close to that centerpiece I was telling you guys about earlier, and the same thing on that side. Now, putting this together, I wanted to get some depressions in the mountain. So what I did was, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but I did a strut from the outside structure to the back wall to kind of pull it in towards the backdrop a little bit. And I also did the same for the Hell Canyon scene right there. Let me see if I can get in there. You might be able to see that one. But you can see there's a strut there that goes from the outside to the back to just pull in a little bit. I didn't want a straight up and down mountain as I have on the other side. I want to be able to add some scenery and bushes and stuff. This, again, is going to be more desert than anything else. But anyhow, let's continue on with this and see what else we can get into. We'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, we're going to do the first step on weathering the bridge, and like I showed you previously, I'm going to be using this swab container with some burnt umber in there, and I did add about 7 more drops to give me a little bit more brown that I'm looking for. Eventually the BNSF will come off of there and Santa Fe will go on there like the prototype. I just didn't have any Santa Fe decals. Anyhow, what I'm going to do is we're just going to go ahead and spray this up, and we're going to hit all the sides, and we'll see how that looks when we get done. So here we go. I know it looks kind of bubbly right now, but it'll dry up nice and clear, and we'll do the same thing with the stanchions. And we'll flip this around a little bit. We'll get that side, flip that guy around. I'm hoping this works, but I guess if it don't, I could always repaint these. Never know unless you try it, right? Okay, so now we got all the sides on that. We'll kind of turn this guy around and we'll get the top here. And we'll flip him around. And we'll get the other side. And tops of these guys. And guess now all we need to do is kind of wait and let it dry, and I might have to hit this up twice with the brown. But anyhow, we'll see what happens here in a few minutes. And you notice it's puddling up down here, which is a good thing actually, to give you that extra rust that I showed you guys earlier in the prototype picture. But anyhow, this is the back side. You're not going to see it anyhow. Anyhow, we'll be back in a few to see how this looks. Alright guys, now that phase 1 is complete on weathering the bridge, I'm going to go ahead and start doing this section up here. And what I'm going to be using for that is going to be this burnt sienna. It's going to be straight, no dry brushing except for a few places. So what I'm going to do is, let me get you down to the work area. Sorry about the creaking. Like I said, that this is an old tripod. Anyhow, I'm just going to take my burnt sienna and I'm going to put it on my very expensive paint palette here, which is the lid of a coffee can, and I'll just put a drop or two out there like that. And then, like I said, this will be straightforward. And let's see, got the bridge right there. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little bit of my paint and I'm just going to do the bottoms here. To try and simulate what's on the prototype. I want this to be as orange as the one in the prototype, so I may have to go over this twice. And I'm just kind of like dabbing it on here. And then for the seams, I will actually do a dry brush. And I won't do all of them, just a few. It's hard doing this after you have a couple of mugs of coffee. And that's what it looks like so far. Anyhow, you can see that I've done some here already, and I'm going to go ahead and go over that a bit more, just to get a little bit more orange in there. And again, I'll just do a little dry brush on some of the seams, just to get a little bit color in there. I don't know if you guys are actually going to be seeing this, but in person it shows up pretty well. And like I said, my weathering capabilities is not that great right now, but I think I am getting a little bit better on it. I'm not 100% sure yet. But I guess that'll be up to you guys to let me know. Anyhow, when you get done, it'll look something like that. I'm very happy with the way this came out, and I hope you guys enjoy how I do it. And like I said, it's my first time doing this weathering, or actually not my first time, but getting into doing weathering. Anyhow, that'll be all for this. Stay tuned and I'll show you what this looks like on the layout. Be back in a few. Alright, the next part, what I'm going to be doing is the stanchions. Now, on the stanchions, I'm just going to hit the joints really hard with the straight burnt sienna, and then I will do some dry brushing on it also. So, take that, and I will just kind of dab it on the joints. And then I will do a little bit of a dry brush on the cross beams. And we'll do a little bit more on the joints. And also I will hit the concrete footings with just a dry brush, just to give it a little bit of as if the rust came down and ran upon the footings. Anyhow, I'll continue on this, and like I said previously, I'll take it on to the layout and I'll show you what it looks like. So let's see. I think that looks pretty good to me, but like I always say, I'm biased, so you guys need to let me know what you think. Anyhow, let's get on with the rest of the video. So now we're back at my control panel, and I was thinking that when we build model railroaders, we're always brainstorming. So I brainstormed something up here that will make it a little bit more appealing and not such a big piece of backboard sticking out in your face. So this is what I came up with. I put a piece of styrofoam in there, and of course that'll get plaster, and as you can see, it cut the backboard in half. Anyhow, that'll be removable, as will the piece behind it and the piece behind it, because as you can see up there, I just have it screwed in. So anytime I need to get to work behind there, I will be able to take all three pieces out. Anyhow, just a little update of when you build a model railroad, you're always thinking about how you're going to do stuff. This is my solution right here. Alright guys, I'm recording this in actual available lighting. I don't have any room lights on, or I don't have any LEDs on. But if you remember in my last video, that up there we did lighting. Well, I should say up there we did lighting all the way across. So everything is all lit up nice and pretty, except for when I get around to this end right here. Look at how dark that is in there. So what I did was I added some more lights. Yippee! Anyhow, there's still no room light on, and as you can see, it's getting pretty dark over there. So I'm going to run another. Wow, it really is pretty dark, huh? Let me turn on some more light. There. That should be better, I think. So I'm going to put more lights on there, and then also along the upper backboard, as I did on the other side where Hell Canyon Bridge is. Half the lights on this half of the room is going to be one power supply, and then all the lights on this side of the room will be on the other power pack. Basically, they have five and a half strands of those LED lights. Anyhow, I'll put those lights in when I start working on that side of the table, and I will. Don't know if you're going to be able to see this, and I hate to show you this part because my lower bench, it looks like a tornado hit it. But those wires right there is what I'm going to extend to light up the next section of lighting. Anyhow, let's see. I think we're going to get into a few other things, and then I'm going to call this video good. But right now, I'm concentrating on this guy right here. I want to get him all plastered up maybe today. Anyhow, be back in a little bit. Alright guys and gals, as you can see, I have my bridge in place. I don't know if you can see phase one of the weathering. Let's see if I can get in here a little bit closer so you can see it. But if you look at the bottom of where the BNSF lettering is, you can see that there's some of the brown hue that I wanted, and also, again, I don't know if you can be able to see it on the towers. Anyhow, I did accomplish putting my plaster cloth behind it, and I might put that snickerdoodle cookie up there, as you guys were calling it. Anyhow, I ran out of material, which is always part of the cost when you're doing something like this. Anyhow, I need to get out and get some more plaster cloth so I can finish this and go all the way to the other end of the layout, which is down there. And then we will start working on the upper section. I don't know what I'm actually going to do up there. I might just put some backdrop buildings or something, because Ashbrook does have some buildings in it. Anyhow, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed this video, and as always, your questions, comments, input, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. Please continue to donate to my PayPal account so I can continue working on this layout. For now, that's all folks. BNSF 6951 out.